The hardest work you should be doing is on yourself and on your inner self, period. Haven't done that in so long. Whew. So today we are talking about goddess codes for magnetism, attraction, authority, and power. And I have my little book here. Feel free to take notes as well. Yeah, feel free to take notes, pull out your journal, and write anything that feels in resonance to you. Yeah, so as I've said before, the hardest work that you should be doing is work on yourself and on your inner self. Nothing outside of yourself should be having that much pressure being applied more than you are working on yourself, okay? And the more that you work on yourself, the easier that the external world will be to navigate. And the easier you will be to navigate in your physical body. And I'm just going to go over some of the goddess codes that I went over in my last video about feminine energy. And it was about the energetic bodies. So the first energetic body you have is your etheric and your spiritual body. That is your biggest body. That is the body that you do not see. Then you have your mental body. That encompasses your thoughts, your self-concept, how you perceive the world through thought. Then you have your emotional body, which is your feelings and your sentient being. Then you go through your spiritual body. Your physical body. And when you are experiencing things in life, it always goes through your spiritual, mental, and emotional body first before it gets to your physical body. So working on those bodies actually makes it easier for you to manifest things within this physical reality. So we are going to be talking about how devotion to self creates attraction and magnetism, and how you will have a self-created and self-fulfilling prophecy through working on yourself, and the power of pouring into the divine feminine and combining beauty with intention. So the first topic that we're going to be talking about is your presence, looks maxing, beauty, and form. Okay, so like your presence as a woman plays a big role within your magnetism, within your attraction, and within your success. And lots of people believe that it's superficial to care about your looks or to invest into your looks, but it actually plays a big role within your success. And yeah, so I'm actually going to share something from my course. I have a divine feminine magnetism course that is called Energetic Perfume. It's going to be linked in my bio, and I'm just going to share some codes from this course, and we're going to talk about how your presence equals magnetism. So your presence and awareness allows your energy to intensify, therefore allowing your aura to radiate with more vibrancy and vivacity. Presence is sketched by a deep sense of awareness and interconnection, rising your state of consciousness from an aloof blur to an inadvertently drawing in unwanted and unneeded circumstances and energy to a state of enlightenment and clarity. Sorry, hold up. When you become present in your body and you start to become more aware of your body and how you are investing into your physical body, this will intensify your energy. This will make your energy much more clear for people to see. It will make your energy a lot more transparent when you are present within your energy and when you are aware of how you are being embodied in this world. Some things that I want to go over as far as looks maxing and beauty. First of all, I've heard about looks maxing like years ago, and when I first heard about it, yes, I thought it was like superficial. I thought it was just like, you know, like looks maxing, like, yeah, look good, whatever. But it actually plays a big role in your attraction and your magnetism when you actually invest into your looks. Whether you wear makeup, whether you don't wear makeup. I personally don't wear makeup. The most makeup I wear is like mascara, lip gloss, lip liner, whatever. But just investing into your looks will 10x how much you are able to attract things without verbally having to say anything, just by your presence. And another good way to looks max is by working your body. As a woman, I really feel like every woman should do yoga, Pilates, ballet, some sort of low impact workouts that include stretching and strengthening, because as a dancer, I really feel like that boosts our energy for some reason. I've been talking to a lot of my clients about this, because a lot of my clients actually go to the gym, they lift weights and stuff, and it's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with going to the gym, lifting weights. It really all depends on what your goals are, what your physique goals are. But most women, my experience from going to the gym has been like, I've always felt like super sore after the gym, which there's nothing wrong with that, okay? I love feeling sore after working out because it makes me feel like I did something. But when I would come from the gym, I would feel like super tight, and I wouldn't really feel like that energized coming from the gym. Like, I would walk out the gym just feeling like, okay, I worked out, a little tired, you know. But whenever I get finished doing Pilates or ballet or yoga, I always feel energized. I always feel stretched, strengthened, and grounded. And I feel like that is a really good way to get more in tune with your body, because it is slower pace. It's still a good impact on your muscles, but you leave feeling more aligned and more fulfilled and more just within your body. I don't know what it is about those forms of working out, but I highly recommend them. And there was something else that I wanted to mention. This is kind of an intuitive video as well, so bear with me. But your diet, I don't even want to call it a diet, I will say your food lifestyle, your eating lifestyle. This is going to play a big role in your presence, in your magnetism, in your attraction, because food is literally energy. You need to understand what foods fuel you and what foods drain your energy. This is very, very important when it comes to your magnetism, because depending on you, because everybody is different. You know, I'm a pescatarian and a vegan, but some things actually drain my energy, and when I eat them, it might just be me just craving it, but my intuition is telling me, okay, no, you need to eat this. And when I go forth and eat something that doesn't feel aligned to my intuition, I start to feel heavy, I feel drained, I feel irritable and stuff like that. And that all takes away from your magnetism. That all creates leaks and fissures within your magnetism that you have absolute control over. And one thing that I notice when it comes to food is that whenever I actually follow my intuition, it's not even like as bad as I thought it would be. You know, like sometimes it's like, okay, I love a kale salad. I really love a kale salad. I make this kale salad called Philly loaded kale salad, and I put chickpeas, quinoa, sun-dried tomatoes. It's so good, but sometimes I don't be wanting to make it, for one, and sometimes I don't be feeling like eating it, and I be feeling like I'm gonna still be hungry and stuff like that. But when I actually follow through with my intuitive feeling to eat something that I know is going to give back to me, I feel so good. Like, I feel so good. I'm like, damn, like, I'm thinking I was about to still be hungry. I feel satisfied. I feel full. I don't feel drained. Versus if I was just to go for that salmon burger or something like that, that might have made me feel a lot heavier. Therefore, creating a leak within my magnetism to go ahead and do the things that I need to do and be in the energy that I need to be in. So, yes. So I want to get back into looks maxing and curating a personal brand. So curating a personal brand is something that I am working on for myself. I'm working on actually, you know, polishing and getting clear and more intentional on my personal brand and how I want to be embodied and how I want to show up. If you've been watching me for a while, you know I started this journey as exposure therapy, and I wasn't very particular about how I'm coming up on camera, how I'm doing this, how I'm doing that, because that was a blockage for me about like aesthetics and how I would show up and stuff like that. And I started to do exposure therapy and not allow the physicalities of everything to stop me from relaying a message and doing what it is that I am being called to do. But now that I have overcome that fear of being on camera, of speaking, of, you know, I'm just evolving on my journey. Now it's time to implement more things. And so that's another thing that I want to say, is that it's okay to go through a process of like just a raw process of you know, experimenting, doing things, trying things out, putting yourself out there, exposing yourself, doing exposure therapy, and then adding in the things that you want so that you can build the image that you want to have for yourself. And sometimes you already have the image. Sometimes it's a mental thing that's blocking you. Sometimes and I feel like that's what it was for me. And now I actually have the space in the room because there's not that fear of even just showing up. Even if I did, you know, like look my best on camera, and I would still have, you know, limiting beliefs and mental thoughts that would deter me or like bring me down energetically. It wouldn't matter how much I looked good or like how cute the aesthetic was. It wouldn't matter because there were still limitations within the mental and physical bodies and emotional bodies that I was carrying. So now that I have overcome that part of the journey, now I can really start to focus on building a personal brand and integrating that with overcoming the limitations that we all face, you know. So yes, building a personal brand, whether you are on social media, whether you have just a normal, just everyday life, it doesn't matter if you are putting yourself out there, if you're on TV, if you are on social media. Building a personal brand for yourself will elevate your magnetism in all areas of your life. And it'll help you get clear on who you are and have more confidence within walking in that presence and walking in that posture. Your posture and how you are self-identified with yourself, your self-concept, plays a huge role in your magnetism. That goes into the intention of curating more magnetism for yourself. Let me read something else from my Divine Feminine Magnetism course. That I feel like would help. I'm going to give like a few prompts. Matter of fact, I'm going to go to my Ethereal Manifestation Alchemy workbook. And I share this workbook with my clients. I always allow them to pick out some prompts that they feel like will help them. And I feel like it has really been a beautiful process just sharing it with them, and them like finding enlightenment and getting more clear on what it is that they are actually wanting to embody for themselves and what is actually holding them back from doing that. Your mind, your mental body, although your etheric and your spiritual body is the biggest body, your mental body is the closest thing to that. And when you are able to get clear and take more control over your mental, you are literally a force field. Like, you are a magnetic force field. You are a power. You have a magnetic power. And having control over your mental space is what is going to draw everything towards you innately. Because if you don't believe that you can get to where you are trying to go, if you don't believe that it's possible for you, that it's available for you, like literally right now, then that is going to create a limitation for you and create a barrier and like a delay within your process. Let me see. Let me try to find this. Theory of manifestation, alchemy. And I'm going to share something else with you about the law of assumption from Neville Goddard. I've been listening to Neville Goddard every day for like the past month. Sorry, like the past few weeks or something. Almost a month. And it has honestly begun to rewire my brain even more and really get me more into alignment with his practices and with his it's not even really a theory, with him just breaking down this universal law. So I'm going to share a few. So I have a section in the book called The Art of Detachment. And one question that I want to leave with you is, what am I afraid? Hold on. Think about the goal or the desires you are emotionally attached to. Do you find yourself stressing over outcomes or holding on to expectations? Explore how you can practice surrendering and trusting that life will unfold as it is meant to. Embodiment. How would I act if I already had everything that I desired? What actions would I take today if I were living in my manifestation right now? Manifestation isn't just about wishing, it's about aligning with your desires through action. Write about the actions you would take today if you are already living the life you desire. What small steps or bold moves would this future version of you take to further align with your dreams? Those are two good questions to ask yourself right now, because these are things that you can do right now. What would you do right now if you were already living in your manifestation? How would you feel right now if you were already living in your manifestation? And move forth with that thought and that intention and that truth and that knowing that it is already here and that it is already done. And I'm going to read one little thing. From Neville Goddard. Alright, I read this before in another video, but I'm going to read it again. So, Most people struggle with manifestation because they allow their senses to control them. They see lack of money and they feel poor. They see loneliness and they feel unloved. They see failure and they feel hopeless. But manifestation works in reverse. What you feel and assume within eventually shapes what you experience without. If you want to see wealth, love, and success, you must assume those things exist for you even when there's no physical proof. This is where faith comes in. Everything exists in everything exists in an invisible reality before it becomes tangible. Everything exists in an invisible reality before it becomes tangible. Your intention, when it comes to aligning your beauty with intention and that creating more magnetism, is just you showing up, taking care of yourself, investing into your appearance, and also doing the inner work to walk as if. All it is assuming. The intention is assuming the life that you want and living that life. Living the life yourself. Not living life vicariously through other people on social media. Not constantly consuming what other people are doing and feeling shitty about yourself. It's about taking the energy and the intentions that you want to curate for yourself and walking in life that it is already done. Walking in life with the feeling that it is already done. And when you do that, you will literally become a magnetic force field. And I think I'm going to recreate this video because I kind of feel like it was already all over the place. Because I didn't really know like what I wanted to talk about. I didn't really like map it out. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. And I will see you in the next one. Bye. Period.